iOS 18.5 has been released for almost a week now, and it's an amazing update. So if you're not updated yet to iOS 18.5, let me change your mind by showing you why this is an amazing update with this video. A lot of changes Apple has made under the hood with iOS 18.5, and of course we also have a few more new features to talk about, but this update is actually amazing, as it should be, as it will be one of the last updates to iOS 18 before it gets moved on to iOS 19, and of course a lot of devices won't be supported by iOS 19, which means that they will be forever on iOS 18, and it must be a great software. So let's first talk about some more new features that we have been able to discover on the new iOS 18.5. So as you probably know, since iOS 18.4, we're now able to change the default translation app on iOS. So if you head on to your settings, go under apps, go to default apps right here. If you go to translation, you have any third-party app installed that can translate, that's compatible of course, you can go ahead and change it right here. And now with iOS 18.5, once you do that, when you go and try to translate something, so if I'm here right on the website, I just want to select some text here, I want to, let's say, translate this. If I tap on translate right here, you can see that it will basically give me a notification. So the selected content will be sent to DeepL in this case to process the translation. Now from here, it will give you the option to continue, go on with the translation with the new app, or make sure that you have the right app actually selected and go ahead and change the translation app from here if you want to do that. So you can tap here to change the translation app, or you can just continue to go ahead and actually translate. Now here we have another one. When you want to share memories, you know that there are songs that actually your iPhone will automatically add to the memories that are not shareable, like we can see right here this pop-up, and right here it says choose a shareable soundtrack. Now this was previously on iOS 18.4. With 18.5 now you will see this. You can just use the suggested song, or it will also say here choose another song. So basically pretty much the same functionality, but it will actually give you a different wording. Now another thing that I have to mention here before we move on to something really important is that there is also a new RC version, basically a different build that has been released the exact same day as the public release of iOS 18.5. So what I suggest here, anyone that has installed the RC version of iOS 18.5 and didn't update to the second one, make sure you go to the general settings, go to your software update, and make sure you have updated to the latest one. Just keep in mind again that there are two different versions of the RC. There's a new build released on the Monday, so make sure you have that installed on your iPhone. Now why I say iOS 18.5 is a massive update is this right here. Now this is an amazing score, 7,400 on the multi-core score, 2,969 on the single core score. This is on the iPhone 15 Pro Max running iOS 18.5, but this actually was iOS 18.5, the first RC version, because we have here the second RC version, and as you can see, it's even better. This is just an amazing performance out of this software update. You can see how much the multi-core score has increased at 7,454. This is a great score, one of the maybe top 3 scores that I got ever on iOS on this device right here, even iOS 17. 2,966 on the single core score there. Again, an amazing performance by iOS 18.5, and you will actually even notice it just from using it since beta 1. It has always been amazing, very stable, not a lot of glitches. It's actually pretty cool, and also a lot of things actually under the hood have been improved with 18.5, like the airdrop, of course, CarPlay problems. A lot of things that users have been reporting have actually now been fixed under the hood, of course, not reported as new features, but are fixes that are actually very, very important. Now, battery has also been quite decent. Now you can see right here with 110% battery, 8 hours, 1 minute. Again, 110% 8 hours 30 minutes. Right here we have 11 hours with about 150 or 60% battery, 7 hours here 120% battery, 9 hours 100% battery right there. So it's all over the place, but of course there are some days where I use more navigation, more cellular data and things like that. But overall I got here probably an average of 8 hours with 100% battery on iOS 18.5, of course, with the battery health at 91% here on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is actually quite decent. Now here's another update from Apple. Apple has actually rolled out CarPlay Ultra, the new generation of CarPlay that Apple had presented. It's here and it will start rolling out. They say today. This was posted like 2 days ago on the 15th of May, and it will start rolling out on the next basically vehicles that will be sold by Aston Martin. Aston Martin will be first that will get the new CarPlay Ultra. So on US and Canada, available on the Aston Martin. This is basically a preview right here of how it looks like. You can actually see it right here on the newsroom from Apple. It's actually not exactly the same as the one that we saw when Apple did a presentation of it, but it actually looks kind of cool. So it will be really interesting to see how fast this will roll out to other vehicles as well. So what's next for iOS? Well, we all know that we're getting the first beta of the all-new iOS 19 on June the 9th. That will be really exciting. A totally new iOS. We're expecting to see the biggest update to iOS since iOS 7. This year will be huge for iOS. But in the meantime, we will also get new updates for iOS 18. Now, you can expect an iOS 18.6 beta to be released really soon. The reports are that iOS 18.6 beta is actually being tested internally by Apple, and it should be released as soon as this Monday or Tuesday the 19th or the 20th of May should be the dates that Apple releases the first beta of iOS 18.6. Now this update is set to roll out Apple Intelligence in China. That will be big also, but don't expect to see any other big new features and changes. A lot of those, of course, have been also postponed for iOS 19. But this update, again, should go through a few beta stages. Now with iOS 19 being on beta as well, it should take some time to be released, and most likely it will be released somewhere here. Early to middle of July should be the time when Apple releases iOS 18.6 to the public. Now in the meantime, for iOS 18 there will be most likely some point updates, maybe 1 or 2, because it will take about 2 months for iOS 18.6 to come out, so there will be smaller updates released. Of course, those are focused always on just fixing things, adding improvements, and maybe patching any exploits or things like that, and don't expect to see new features from those. Again, basically, we're done with big new features on iOS 18. Everything big and new is coming to iOS 19 on June the 1st. So that's basically it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smash that like button if you did, and also subscribe for more, and I will see you on the next one.